Welcome to Rewind with Mike and Greg. Today we're going to be talking about the NCAA tournament, Northwestern, and we're going to be talking about Desean Jackson headed to Tampa Bay. So happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Mike, you doing anything fun tonight?
I do not believe I will be doing anything fun tonight. It's all work, no play today.
Absolutely. I mean, with all these games coming on tonight, I don't know how you could find any time to go out.
I personally don't want to. I love watching basketball rather than going out on this kind of night. It's madness week or month. Madness
True.
month
Yeah,
for me.
absolutely. And then, oh my gosh, the weather out there is so cold. And
Yeah, here in Michigan it's a little sleety today,
yeah,
a
not
little
worth the drive.
icy rain today. But yeah,
How's your bracket looking?
it's not good.
Not good.
I picked way too many upsets this year. How's
Uh,
yours?
I mean, obviously we all fill out more than one bracket, but
Obviously, yes.
one bracket that I'm in the 99 percentile in still. I don't know. That was earlier this morning. I know there have been quite a few games have been played since then.
Yeah, there's a couple games going
But
on right now.
but yeah, it was in the 99 percentile. The only game I had missed on was the Maryland losing, which
It's kind
I
of
don't.
shocking that they did lose. I mean, they're a good team, but as of late, they have not been playing well.
No,
It didn't surprise me that they lost.
they were very lackluster in the Big Ten tournament leading up to the NCAA tournament.
Absolutely.
I think the biggest weakness that showed was the fact that they rely on Melo Trimble a lot.
I'd have to agree with that. He did kind of carry them through the season, and when he doesn't show up, obviously you can see they do lose, and showed them that that was their only option they had, and he didn't come through for them. But another Big Ten team that is surprising was Northwestern.
Oh yes, that was surprising. Their first ever NCAA tournament win. It's gotta be,
And appearance.
yeah, it's gotta be a great
What a
feeling for these
whammy.
kids.
First appearance, first win. It's a good feeling.
Oh, absolutely. I can't even imagine.
They didn't really go about it in the standard way. There was a little blunder by one of these Vanderbilt players. He thought they were down in the game after they had just scored the go-ahead basket with 15 or 16 seconds left in the game, and he intentionally fouled the Northwestern guard, sent him to the line with
It
15
gave him
seconds,
free points.
free 2 points, and they took the lead.
Wow, I didn't catch that, but wow, that has to. Oh my gosh.
And it wasn't just one player; it was Northwestern's best
Best free
player,
throw shooter,
best free throw and best
best
player.
player. Oh
Yeah,
my
absolutely,
goodness.
McIntosh, and he is not going to miss those when he gets free baskets.
Oh, not at all.
After the game, I believe his name is Matt Fisher is this guy's name. He claimed he said, "I didn't know we were up," is what he said. I feel like if you're in an NCAA tournament game, you're going to be looking at the scoreboard more than once
Oh,
in a
absolutely.
game.
Absolutely. Do you know what is he a freshman or is he
I think he's a young kid. I'm not quite sure. If I knew, I would tell you, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure he's a freshman or sophomore.
Yeah, it sounds like I mean, under that kind of pressure, I could imagine myself making that kind of mistake, but you're coached so much, it's got to be difficult when
Right.
that kind of thing happens
Well,
at this point in time.
right. The coach also said that there might have been a misunderstanding when he was relaying things for the team to do when they were bringing the ball up. So that
Oh, okay.
Matt might have looked over to the coach and saw something he thought he saw, but he really didn't see in reality, and a little misunderstanding there.
Right.
I mean, it cost him the game.
In this kind
In
of
essence,
tournament,
it
in this
did.
kind of setting, I mean, anything really is possible at this point.
Well, I mean, the kid kept him in the game.
Right,
And,
absolutely.
and it's just hard to see one player make a little mistake and have their whole team lose. It's not like
Exactly.
it's not completely his fault, but yes, in the situation it did end up
Well, and I
being.
mean, look at Chris Webber when he tried to call a timeout and there
Right,
weren't any time.
exactly,
It's little things
exactly.
that'll cost you a game that may seem so trivial. It's just, yeah, absolutely. It's got to be heartbreaking for
But
him and the team.
yeah, absolutely. Another note here: we have Middle Tennessee State. What do you think about that?
Yes,
Another Big Ten team going down in the first round.
For the second straight year in a row, Middle Tennessee has knocked off a Big Ten team in the first round of the tournament.
This year was a 5 seed Minnesota. And
Last
last
year it
year was
was
who?
a 4 seed in Michigan State.
I believe so. Was it 4 or was it 2 seed? I can't even remember. Something like it was very
It was
low
It
seed.
was an impressive win
Yeah.
because last year they did it as a 15 seed, didn't they?
Yeah, so 15 seed be
We
a
were a
2
2
seed
seed.
then.
Yeah,
Yeah, Michigan State was a 2
Michigan
seed.
State was a 2 seed. So
So
wow,
that was even more
that's
impressive.
impressive. That
Because
is very impressive.
this year they were favored a little bit.
Minnesota, yeah, they just couldn't get it done. Lynch just got a bunch of fouls and couldn't stay in the game. Couldn't defend. Once Middle Tennessee, as soon as Lynch was out of the game, they attacked the basket and got buckets. They scored. They drove. They pushed the lane. When Lynch was in there, they couldn't drive the lane. And then Minnesota was able to defend the 3-point line. But
Yeah.
once Lynch got in foul trouble and got out and was unable to play, Middle Tennessee just used their athleticism
And
and dominated
this
the
middle
paint.
Tennessee State team has some experience on their
Oh,
squad.
absolutely.
They're gonna have a couple players, maybe two, go to the draft.
Oh, absolutely. I could see it for sure.
Upshaw is definitely gonna go to the draft. He's a heck of a player,
Hmm.
and you can't put it against his team. They've won 31 games this year. That's a
Right.
heck of a lot of
Yeah,
wins.
no matter I don't care what conference you play in, if you win
That's a
that
lot.
many games, if you're consistently
Absolutely.
beating opponents that much, it's impressive.
No doubt. On Friday, St. Patrick's Day, we have a plethora of good games going on. We actually have Duke, UCLA, North Carolina, Kansas, and Kentucky playing today.
Wow.
And not only that, we have Michigan and Michigan State playing today as well. But Michigan just won their game
Yep.
92-91 in impressive form. They smashed 16 threes today,
Very
11
impressive.
in the second half.
They were on fire from out there. Derek Walton, Zach Irvin.
It was a team effort, to say the least. All of them were hitting threes. The whole team was meshing. I mean, granted, the defense could have been better. They were letting them drive into the hoop and get easy layups, and the rebounding was lackluster, to say the least. They got out rebounded by 19 rebounds today. You can't, if you want to move on in the NCAA tournament, you can't let that happen.
Yeah, there's definitely some nuts and bolts you got to tighten up, but for the most part, if Derek Walton's having a good game, he's their leader. He is a very dominant force to be reckoned with, and I would even call him one of the MVPs simply because of how much he does mean to that team. He is a pure leader. He's got the skill to lead that team, and you can tell the difference because when Derek Walton doesn't have a good game necessarily, the team tends to struggle a little bit. It's not purely because of his play. It's just so much of the offense runs through Derek Walton.
I
He's
agree.
such a
He's an assist machine. He
absolutely,
dishes. He
absolutely.
dishes a lot, and he gets everyone involved. And when you get involved, you get more confidence under your belt. You start
Hmm.
making shots, and it just you get on fire, and that's why they scored 92 points today.
Exactly.
They lit it up from the field.
He's got the experience and understanding to know that to win, you have to feed your big men. You have to get your young guys like Wagner the ball or Wagner.
Yeah, Wagner. Yeah, I
You have
think
to
it's
get
Wagner.
Wagner the ball. Get your young guys going,
Mhm.
and then your shots will come easier too.
Mhm.
And
It's your-
I don't think there's very many points. I think I would go him and Melo Trimble. I'd say are the best experienced point guards in the Big Ten right now.
I agree. And coming in this game, I mean, Oklahoma State was what 2-3 coming in, but Michigan was 5-0 in their last 5 games, having won the Big Ten championship coming
Hmm.
in. So they're running on a little momentum here.
Exactly.
But I mean, both of these teams played so fast.
Oh,
This game was incredible to watch, and it was not. It was never not boring.
exactly.
It was.
I remember Oklahoma State was up by 8. I
uh,
blinked, and then Michigan was up by 8.
At one point, it said 16 lead changes, but there had to have been at least almost 20 lead changes in this game. I couldn't ask for a better game, and hopefully Michigan can keep this performance up and keep going on. See what happens.
Absolutely. I think the Big Ten gets very underrated when it comes to basketball this year specifically.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say it's unwarranted due to
No.
the results so far.
I mean, I think Minnesota's the only Big Ten team to lose so far, I want to say.
Yes, I do
Okay.
believe so.
All right, because Wisconsin, Northwestern,
Michigan State played today. Michigan
State,
already won today.
Yep.
Northwestern
Maryland.
won. Maryland lost.
So we had a couple
Maryland and
teams.
Minnesota. I think honestly, I think Maryland was the bigger shocker there. I think is one of the biggest.
I think they were both overrated coming in.
Yes. Yes.
So they got a little.
I think they got a little bit I think
overhyped.
with Maryland got a little bit too much respect from last year, even
Hmm.
though they lost almost all the good players except for Trimble.
Hmm.
And then Minnesota was just it was a good thought almost. They had a really good thing going this year. They played really well, but when all the chips are on the table and you're playing against the nation's
Oh
64
God,
best
yeah,
teams,
absolutely.
you know,
That's why when you see these Dukes, UNC, Kansas, Kentuckies, they're consistent all the time,
yep,
and they 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 don't stray away from what they do, and they
no,
do what they do good,
yep,
and they get the job done when it
absolutely.
needs to be done. And Duke's going to be going up against Troy today, and I just don't see any competition there for
I
one.
mean, yeah, Troy's
Um,
Troy's not a bad
no,
team, but
absolutely
that's
not.
not the point. Duke
It.
is such a strong team inside and out.
Mhm,
I feel like you're correct.
yeah, and North Carolina plays Texas Southern. Once again,
Yep,
they're a decent team, but just North Carolina is just not gonna let this one slip away.
no,
They're gonna run away with it, and just like Kentucky, they're playing an in-state team, Northern Kentucky. I
yep,
know it's gonna be a high-scoring game. Don't get
yeah,
me
oh,
wrong,
absolutely, absolutely.
but Kentucky should have no problem. Just like Kansas, who plays UC Davis, no problem there. Another one to get 16 seed, no problem.
Yeah, I see Davis putting up a fight in the first half.
Usually the first 10 minutes, the 16 seeds will come out with a lot of adrenaline. It'll be pumping. They'll have the game. Sometimes they'll take the lead, but as you saw in the Villanova game yesterday, Villanova second half runs away with
Yep,
the game.
yep.
That's just what happens with these one seeds, and they're playing these 16 seeds.
Yeah, you've got these one seeds with such good talent. They're experienced, tend
Hmm.
to be well coached more than anything. And what tends to happen is they come out on a pace.
Hmm.
They're going to pace themselves. They're going to run their offense, and they're going to score points, play defense, get in their sets. Whereas these 16 seeds like UC Davis, they rely on coming out, shooting the ball, getting buckets, scoring early, trying to play extremely
Feed
fast
off their
pace,
momentum. Yeah.
trying to feed out exactly. And a lot of times they just can't outlast these teams who have
And
been
what these
consistently doing
Right.
this
And these one
all
seeds
year
they'll
long.
slow the pace down so they can't feed off of this momentum and
Yup,
adrenaline anymore, and they'll
yup.
just take them out of the game.
Benches tend to be deeper.
Hmm.
When
So
these
much.
when these
Yep.
16 seeds, some of these 16 seeds, the only reason they get in the tournament is because they're so good at shooting three
Well,
pointers.
and they make it in because they win their conference tournaments too. That's
Well,
that's
well,
that's a
yeah,
good feat for them to make it
absolutely,
in. That's I'm not
absolutely.
going to put anything
But
against
the
these
play the
teams.
play style is what really hurts
Yeah.
them when and I'm not saying all 16 seeds have smaller teams, but they tend to have smaller teams. And when you go up against Kansas and Arizona and Villanova and Gonzaga, and they've got these, even Purdue, these beast big men, and that allows them to control the pace of the game. You can't drive in on them. You're not gonna get easy layups. But then again, you can't rely on the three because they're not always going to fall, and it's easy to defend something you know it's coming.
Hmm. Generally, sometimes these one seeds like the Villanovas, Kansas, will have bigger men, like big guys, just beefier, taller, and they'll out rebound them too, and
Yeah.
they'll out physical this team.
Yep.
You don't see big guys generally on these 16 seeded teams because not many bigger guys are going to go to a smaller school. Sometimes, generally, that's saying because if they're bigger, they're going to want to go to a bigger school,
Right.
better opportunity.
Naturally.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how it works usually. But sometimes you do the
And
guys.
that's not to take away from any of the guys playing on
No,
any of these
absolutely.
teams. I mean, they're
They're
very
all
obviously they're good because of where they're at.
well
In
they're
they're in the
well
NCAA
they're well
tournament.
coached.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, the coaching is. They're good basketball players. It's just you can't teach size.
No,
That you can't teach size.
nope, not a chance.
Unfortunately.
If that was the case, I'd be playing basketball right now, Greg,
Oh yeah.
or football, one of the two. Speaking of football, actually, Desean Jackson has went to Tampa Bay. That's really good for Tampa Bay.
Oh, for sure.
And since they went 9-7 last year, I do see them making the playoffs this year. And with the addition of Jackson, I think they're going to have more options and they're going to score a lot more points for one, I believe.
Hmm.
Since Jackson is ranked fifth, I want to say, for receptions over 50 yards for a touchdown. And he's in good companies with Randy Moss, Terrell Owens. He's just so fast. He's probably one of the fastest wide receivers in the NFL currently, I'd
Oh,
say.
absolutely.
And once he's in the open, you can't stop him.
No,
He's just gone.
there are not a lot of corners out there I mean, there are a lot of corners that are fast, but I don't even think there are a lot of corners that are Desean Jackson fast when he's making those cuts.
Hmm.
I mean, he's got cuts dirtier than Sunday dishes, man. I think it's going to be a big help for Jameis Winston as well. I think it's going to give him
It's gonna give him more
a
confidence.
oh yeah, a downfield threat, someone who he can actually deliver the ball to.
I think he'll play
Um,
a little slot, and he'll like on third downs he'll be in the slot, and then he'll be little passes for James Winston to keep him
yeah.
in the game and keep him more attentive, and he'll get his confidence. Like I said, he'll get him going, and then when they want, they can start going deep with all the wide receivers
Well,
because
you
they
put Deshaun Jackson in the slot, and there's not a middle linebacker in the league that can. There's not a linebacker in the league that can guard him.
not a chance. He's too fast.
Absolutely. I know the Detroit Lions got a couple linemen in free agency. I know they got T.J. Lang, and I think that honestly, that's really good. I think Matthew Stafford in the last 3 years has been sacked 126 times.
Which is a lot.
That is too much, and especially because I think after this year, there's a decent chance that Stafford could be one of the richest quarterbacks in the NFL.
He should be. Stat wise, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Hmm.
But I understand why they don't consider him one of the better quarterbacks in the league because he doesn't get it
Proof
done
on paper.
exactly. They've made the playoffs, I think, what, two times in the last, I don't know how many years, five, maybe
Yeah.
7 years.
The fact that you said made the playoffs is amazing.
Yeah, fair enough. But when they make the playoffs, they need to win a game.
I think it's encouraging, being from Michigan, being a Detroit Lions fan. I think obviously been hard for everybody, and I'm sure everybody knows why. But
It's
we've come
tough.
a long way from 0-16. We've come a very long way, and I feel the strides that we've made, the changes we've made, coach and the coaching staff and the players. We made a big decision a couple of years ago to let go of Ndamukong Suh, and then last year Megatron retires. All those kind of things where before we had thought, oh well, if any of these things happened, it would be the end, and we'd be back to 0-16. But look at us, we're doing
Doing better without.
better without them.
Hmm.
And not to say if we didn't still have Calvin Johnson that we wouldn't be as good, but freeing up that cap space really did a lot for us. I think just getting fresh faces in the locker room kind of rejuvenated everybody. New coaches, new owner.
Hmm.
I can see a lot of good things coming in the future,
Well, I mean,
especially with this draft coming up.
oh yeah. What do you think they need to draft, first of all?
Honestly, I think, I mean, I know this becomes old hat, but linebacker. Draft a
I'm not
linebacker.
gonna disagree with you there because I do believe they do need a linebacker because DeAndre Levy is now gone.
Exactly.
Not that we don't have young linebacker. We did bring in Paul Warlow, which is a decent linebacker from Atlanta, I believe,
Hmm.
and he'll be making strides with Detroit here in the near future. But we do need to draft a young linebacker. I don't know where from, but
No.
I do see them needing a linebacker.
Yeah, and I think this would be the year to do it because the past couple of years we've been drafting linemen. Understandable, we needed them more than
And
anything.
that's why they went out on free agency and got these linemen.
Exactly, especially because this year, combine and the players that are going to be in the draft, the offensive and defensive linemen are very thin.
Very
There's
thin.
not a whole lot, and it's not that the ones that are in the draft aren't good, but do you necessarily want to spend a draft pick to get that person
Right.
when you could, I don't know, get a linebacker or a wide receiver that's
DBs
going to
are
give
really
you
strong this year.
yes,
Very
yes, that's
strong.
going to I would even say a defense, I would even say a DB.
Hmm. To come back to the two linemen that Detroit signed, Ricky Wagner was the other one. That was his name.
Okay,
Yeah,
he's actually really good.
very good. And the good thing about these two linemen is they signed 3 years and 5 year deals, so we'll have them for a couple years.
Good.
And they're seasoned veterans and they know what they're doing. And I think that's another reason why they brought them on.
Yes.
We don't, because the last couple of years the Lions have had a young offensive line, and that's not what you want per se.
Yeah,
So they're bringing on a tackle and a guard, so we'll have some veterancy to teach these younger linemen the ropes
exactly.
and help them out. And I think in their own rights, they're gonna be really good themselves. and they're just gonna rejuvenate that whole offensive line, and hopefully they protect Stafford a lot better this year.
Yeah, if we could get one rushing yard,
Yeah, I totally
that would
agree.
be amazing. We need to anything that's gonna help our rushing.
Yeah, and Detroit has so many running backs right now that it's kind of hard for them to pick. But I think Washington, he came on late last year and he lit it up, and I think he's gonna do good this current off season. And come springtime, he's gonna start taking first team reps, and I think I see him being a first team guy this year.
I think that would have to be definitely be my choice as well.
Absolutely. Fun fact for you: 2 days ago on the 15th, there was a 1,000-mile sled dog race in Alaska.
Really?
Yes, and this happens every year. 1,000 miles for one.
Is
That's
it the
that's a long one.
what's it called?
It's a weird name. I don't want to mispronounce it, so I'm not gonna say it.
Can I see it?
I
Do you have
actually
it written
don't. I
down?
don't have it written down.
Is it like the Ichabod
Yeah,
or
it's
like
that one. Yeah,
the
it's something
Ica?
like that. It starts with an I.
Mispronounce it either,
Right.
but yeah,
But
it's
but
a
besides the fact,
right.
Mitch Seavey, he became the fastest and oldest musher to win the race at 57 years old. And the musher is the guy who is behind the dogs
Okay.
when they're going. Yeah, it's pretty cool. He beat his son, who was the defending champ. And the whole trip took 8 days, 3 hours, 40 minutes, 13 seconds.
Goodness, that is 1,000 miles.
That is a trek. Let
That
me tell you what, I would not be able to do that. That
it's
is
an
tough.
8-day race
That is tough.
in 30 minutes and 13 seconds.
I'd almost have to say that's a tough sport.
Yeah, no, that is an extremely rough sport.
That there's not many more things that you can say are take 8 days to do one event.
Except for clean the house. But that's just me.
That's you do take
I
8
mean,
days. That takes a long time for you to
I
clean
don't have
everything.
I don't have a lot of motivation.
True, but I think you'd have motivation if you won $75,000 in a new truck because that's what he got.
Oh no, yeah, I'd be
Yeah,
on it.
then yeah.
I would be on it.
So would you do that race? Would you do it?
Me no,
Okay.
because if
It's
they
cold.
had more couches
It's
and TVs,
fair enough, but it's also really cold. So
and in California,
it's actually like 100 miles from Russia.
yeah, that's insane. I feel like insane people win that competition. But it's not. But I have nothing but respect for those
That's one heck
contestants
of a
because
that's an accomplishment right there, man.
oh, they have to be athletes. Think about it.
That's tough. It's
You know,
not
you
easy being
have
out
to
in the
be
cold
in.
that long.
Oh yeah, to be in an 8-day race, you've got to be in shape, some type of shape,
Somewhat shape, yeah, and to be able to withstand the cold that long, that
just to have that kind of
consistently.
endurance.
Absolutely.
Impressive, very impressive.
Speaking of
What,
like endurance, when you said endurance, I thought like long term here, and I thought about Adrian Peterson
oh yeah.
for some reason. He's not going to be with the Minnesota Vikings this year.
Oh really? I didn't even hear that.
No, yeah, he's being shopped. Do you think he's still an effective back though at like 31 years old?
I feel like maybe for a team who
Maybe like a 1 year kind of deal, 1 year, 2 year deal.
he'd be a good fit for like a team who doesn't have a steady running back, has a couple different running backs, but wants someone with some veteran experience who they can kind of lean on a little while they're figuring things out. And I think he would be someone I'd build my offense around.
No, because I mean most of these running backs nowadays they catch the ball out of the backfield. I mean Adrian Peterson used to do that, but now with his age, he's kind of became more one dimensional of a back, and he only runs the ball. He doesn't catch it, and
Hmm.
I think you need that as an effective running back nowadays.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
I mean, he'll find a place. He's still a freaking athlete, man. He works out like there's no other. He's not gonna have a problem finding a place, I don't think.
No,
And it's kind of like Marshawn Lynch. Oakland's been making some news. They kind of want to pick him up
that would
and bring
be
him back hometown to the hometown of Oakland.
crazy.
That'd be cool to
I could see
see.
that working out.
That'd be cool for him to go back to his hometown and finish his career there too, as well.
Yeah. Because I was very surprised when he came out and said that he was going to retire. I just feel like he had so much left, and
Yeah,
he was so
retired
good.
young.
Like he retired. I feel like he retired at his peak, and not that there's a problem with that, but
Hmm
could have gone. I feel like he could have. He had at least 2 or 3 more years in him at least.
I agree.
And I feel like Oakland would be a great fit for him. I feel like it's more of a relaxed, more
he'd be close to his family.
exactly. Yeah.
That makes you more relaxed.
Right.
And that's what you want to see in a player, so that if they become more relaxed, they'll, in a sense, hopefully play better.
Well, when you think of Oakland, you think of beast mode. When you think of beast mode, you think of Oakland.
Right.
You think the Oakland Raiders.
Good old
I feel like with his personality on the Oakland Raiders, I feel like it would just be a really good fit.
He's a hard-hitting dude, man.
Oh,
He'll
absolutely.
Bring the pain.
Absolutely.
That's what you want to see out of an Oakland running back. Since Latavius Murray just left, they need a running back.
Yeah.
So
when you have a running back that's going to hit linebackers instead of linebackers that are going to hit your running back, what you want. That's what you need.
You want them to be scared.
Yep.
Fear in them, instill the fear in them so they don't have to worry about it. And maybe Oakland will make a run this year.
Yeah.
They made the playoffs, but they lost Derek
I would
Carr.
not be surprised forcing Connor Cook to play in his first game.
Yeah, you know how I feel about him.
Yeah, in a playoff game.
He did well, though. I mean,
he did as good as you could do. I mean,
it's hard to start in the playoff game like that.
I mean, I'm a big Connor Cook fan, but I mean, I'll be the first to tell you he's no first day NFL starter, not last year, that's for sure.
No.
He's definitely the kind of player that was going to step in, learn, and eventually take over a team, kind of like Kirk Cousins did.
And he's doing well.
Yeah. And honestly, I think that's the way it should be. I feel like players like Marcus Mariota, Jameis Winston, Paxton Lynch, I feel like some of these players, they come in, they're not ready. Even if they're good enough, they're not ready. And then sometimes I feel like it stunts them. I feel like it ruins them. Maybe it plants a seed of doubt in their brain. And not that they're not good enough to get over that kind of thing. It could potentially ruin you. And I feel like there's nothing. Look at Aaron Rodgers. He sat behind Brett Favre for how long? And everybody was like, Brett Favre retired so Aaron Rodgers can play. And when he did, they didn't miss a beat. They were just as good.
Yeah.
They went from being good to being good.
Somewhat similar as Tom Brady and Drew Bledsoe, but
yeah. Or like Garoppolo.
Yeah, Garoppolo.
Garoppolo behind Tom Brady. He's a great quarterback. Why? Probably because he sat behind Tom Brady and learned so long.
Anyone that sits behind Tom Brady should get a look.
I mean, he's the best quarterback in history.
Oh,
I'll say it.
Hands down, he is.
Show me a quarterback who's better than Tom Brady.
5 rings. That's just, I mean, come on now. You can't say he's not the best quarterback.
And he's still playing?
Yeah. He's got a couple more years in him.
When you win 5 rings and you've still got time left in your career to play a couple more seasons, impressive.
Mm-hmm.
That is absolutely impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, even purely skill-wise, I can't think of a quarterback that's better than Tom Brady. And, I mean, there's a couple arguments that you could make about, the play style back then compared to now. But in all honesty, I feel like it would almost be harder to be a quarterback nowadays with how crazy athletic everybody is on the field now. Not that people weren't athletic back in the day.
They've become freakishly athletic.
But
athletic.
Everybody today is at the absolute peak of their physical condition. Mm-hmm. And they're taken care of so much better. The players today are taken care of so much better.
Nowadays.
And I don't think you could compare another quarterback to Tom Brady. Not yet anyway. Maybe one day.
Maybe in the future.
But absolutely not now.
Maybe Kirk Cousins, huh?
Maybe one day.
Maybe. That's your hope. That's your dream. Yeah. Well, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
But hey, we had a good day today. It was a little recap on some NCAA tournament action, and hopefully today brings us a lot more excitement, more upsets. Hopefully we can cover them for you tomorrow. So anything else for you, Greg?
All I want to say is I'm calling USC upsets SMU. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to call it.
I like the call, Greg, and hopefully we can say you were right tomorrow, my man.
I'm hoping. We'll have to see.
All right. Till next time, everybody.
All right. Signing out, guys.